the Dragon episode 2 season 2 actually had me in my feelings because it had me questioning what I would do in certain situations. I actually didn't have an answer for it, and I understood from everybody's side why they were doing what they were doing. So where we left off, that kid was killed off screen, his head was sawed off like a lamb to the slaughter. And now the whole kingdom is in disarray because, of course, somebody came in the castle and lopped off the king's son's head right under his nose. And what I like is how Aegon is just completely torn apart. His reactions are totally warranted.
I'll kill them! I'll kill them all! Traitors and villains! They're not striking me! I am the king!
Yes.
I am the king! Traitors and villains! Fire from the sky! This is war! I declare war!
Very painful. On one hand, everyone's believing, okay, this is probably Rhaenyra's move, but Rhaenyra didn't do this. Daemon did. But they don't know that, because she's married to Daemon, and as far as they know, she is suffering, she is angry and driven for revenge because Aemond killed her son. Now, he didn't mean to, but he was doing the most, though. This dude embodies a freaking elven warrior. I know I said that before, but if they ever need someone to play an elf, this guy is it. He looks like a miniature version of Daemon too. I just love him. His whole aesthetic and everything. Okay, I'll stop. He holds up this coin. I really don't know what the significance of this is, but I also gather that Alicent over here is beyond herself because her cheeks were getting clapped while all this was happening. Now, that's not necessarily her fault, but can you imagine your daughter coming into your room while you're getting your cheeks clapped by the general, you know, to tell you that, yeah, by the way, your grandson just got his head fucking cut off with me in the room? I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's awkward. And then isn't the stupid Criston Cole guy the one who's supposed to be in charge of all the security? On top of that, holy crap. I like Otto Hightower in this. Yes, he has his own motivations, but I also think he really is trying to do what's best for the realm. He does want peace. And he wants the love of the people. He wants whoever he is beside to have the love of the people because that brings about peace, which I could see from his side why that makes sense. But his daughter over here is just cut with grief. Like, lost her granddaughter because she was riding the meat train. I don't know, live your best life, I guess.
And where were the members of this council while the murderer threatened their king?
Were you also threatened, Your Grace?
I could have been!
Why would that guy ask that question? That is not the time to ask that question. It's like, they threaten to this guy is the stupidest person in the freaking room. Learn when to stay quiet. Like, he came in and killed his son. Yeah, they threatened the king. Oh, were you also threatened, sir? Like, bro, what? Shut up.
My son is heir to the Iron Throne! And where were you? The Lord Commander of my King's Guard.
I was abed, Your Grace, having ordered the Night's Watch.
Abed. Abed! Instead of safeguarding the sanctity of my family.
Well, I mean, if you must know, I was fucking the shit out of your mother, but okay. You know how people hated Joffrey? I'm gonna say this right now. I loathe this creature so fucking much. I don't remember the last time I have viscerally hated someone to the point where I want to see them get the mountain treatment and have their head caved in. I would be fucking laughing if I saw someone drive their hands in his mouth and pull both of his jaws far apart into a 180-degree angle. I know that sounds barbaric, but that's how much I hate this character. No, not the guy in real life, the character in the freaking universe. I hate him. I fucking hate this thing. Oh my god, Joffrey was not as bad as this loser beta male bitch.
First of all, you're doing too much.
Oh my god, it's so fucking disgusting. Couldn't stand him before, but after this episode, Man, he does this character really well because every time I see him, he's so horrible of a person. He's so disgusting. It's not because he's screwing Alicent, but the whole reason he started this whole thing, for people who don't know, never watched this, right? He used to be on the other side. He used to be Rhaenyra's guard, the girl from the other side, who's basically Aegon's big sister. And she was in love with him, and he's like, he knew she was gonna be the queen. And he went against his religion and his faith or his creed or what have you and slept with her. After she got all horned up because of Daemon, it's this universe, go with it. She started teasing him. He fell in love with her and forewent his own fate. That was his own choice as a freaking adult. Then he's like, let's run away together. I don't want to share you with anyone. Come run away with me and be my wife. And she's like, I can't. My father's the king. Like, that's not realistic. And he gets all mad and blames her and gaslights her. It's like, you made me give up my creed and break my faith. And then he gets fucking angry with her and then kills someone in a cold rage because he doesn't like that they're gay or something. I don't know. That's what the implication seemed to be. It was a while back. And then because Allison is kind of jealous of Rhaenyra, sort of, he's like, well, I don't like Rhaenyra because she broke my heart and I'm a victim and she made me fall in love with her and made me do those things. So now I'm gonna betray her and I want revenge and I want her dead. What the fucking psychopath is this goddamn person? And then on top of that, the way he treats people after, I can make a whole freaking video on this person, I swear to God. I hope he fucking dies. And I know for that reason they're gonna keep him alive longer, and that makes me so mad. Oh my God. Okay, I'm done for now, because...
Save the bitch queen of bastards!
How is she a queen of bastard? Oh, because of the illegitimate... Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
There she sits across the bay on her rock, laughing at me. She's fucking laughing at me!
The way that they look so uncomfortable. It is very awkward to be in a room when someone's losing their shit and you're like, I don't know where to look. Why is he looking at him? Why is he's like, he doesn't know where to look. Nobody knows what to look at. I love it. It's like the Handmaidens all over again.
You wished her life to be spared.
If I may, Your Grace. My lord, the guard has detained someone.
So they caught the big one, Cheese and Blood. I don't know what their names are. And Aegon is understandably inundated with primal rage because he just lost his son. Not only did he lose his son, someone came in his baby's bed and sawed his freaking head off and took his head. I mean, there's no greater insult. It would have been better if they just stabbed the baby, but they sawed his head off. We didn't see it happen because they're not going to show a child being killed on screen. I think it would have been more visceral if they did. You know, Stephen King probably would do something like that. But that was not only scary and insulting to the king that they would even try on his heir, but the way they killed him too. And remember, they don't have the baby's head. So imagine going in your baby's room and seeing them slaughtered in their bed like a freaking pig and their head is missing. Would you not burn down the entire nation? I'm not saying it's right, but could you kind of understand where Aegon's coming from? So Otto never wastes a good tragedy, and he's like, you know, we gotta play this right. And Aegon is saying, I don't want to be seen as weak. I have to do something. To which his grandfather says, you're already seen as weak.
A hasty coronation, a dragon escaping the pit, the people see an omen. I would do more than that. A funeral progress. Let them see the child. Let them look upon the works of this pretender to the throne.
Father.
My king?
No. I will not have my little son's body dragged through the street like a dead dog.
Oh my God, that cut my heart when he said that. His little son. Oh my God. I was crying throughout most of this episode. Like, you can tell Aegon's not really a bad person, at least not yet anyway. He's being a parent. He loved his boy more than anything. It wasn't just some, oh, if I die, I have an heir, goody goody. He literally loved his son. Remember the last episode when he was looking at his son with joy and pride? Like, that was his his favorite person in the whole world, his little me. It is this thing, an instinct that kicks in people when they have children or something to take care of and guard, and that's what makes it more painful. So Otto is saying, look, we'll have him escorted like a prince to the dragon pit and burned as a Targaryen prince. And he's trying to convince him because this would be good for the realm. And it is painful just seeing Aegon's reactions because I think he knows it's right, but he doesn't want to do this. And it showcases just how helpless sometimes these rulers can be in their places of ultimate power. To maintain that power, they have to sacrifice things and deal with situations that the lay people wouldn't have to deal with for the sake of maintaining that power or taking care of the realm or keeping the peace and protecting the people. And it kind of sucks because poor Aegon didn't ask for this.
Prince! Your Grace.
No.
Let no one say I do not grieve. Jaehaerys was my grandson. I loved him. I will not have him die in vain.
Never waste a good tragedy. I don't think that's what it is. I think Otto actually did love his grandson. He just doesn't show his grief the way other people do. I don't think he's as conniving as Littlefinger either. I think he legitimately is just calculating for the betterment of his family and the realm. Can't really blame him, because every single one of us in life, don't we do things towards our own end? Even when it comes to helping people. We wouldn't help people and feel good about it if it didn't make us feel good as well. So we're kind of selfish in that regard as well, aren't we?
Those who declared for Rhaenyra, will they still support her when they hear of her depravity, or will they rather not renounce her? Jaehaerys will do more for us now than 1,000 knights in battle.
Oh my god, his face. I can't. This is so freaking depressing.
You will have your war, your grace, but if you wait a short time, you may yet double your strength.
Mother.
The hand sets on a difficult path, my darling, but it might be the right one.
Let the Silent Sisters ready the prince for his final journey. And riding behind him, his mother the queen, and with her the queen dowager.
No, I do not wish to be a spectacle.
The realm
So she's like, wait, I gotta be there? What the hell? But he does make a good point. Turn the enemy. I mean, that's what they do in the media, right? With each other. Look at what this person did. We poked the bear and he bit us back in defense, but look at how savage he is. I don't know, I like Aegon. I didn't really care for him before, but I actually do like his character now. Meanwhile, his sister, aka wife, aka the kid's mother, is grieving. Alicent then comes in to tell her, yeah, so, turns out we're gonna have a funeral for your son, and yes. So you like have to walk behind his coffin while it's open and you can see his headless body. So they start the very sad funeral procession and we see the kid's body there. Oh, I guess they did have the head before, so my mistake. So they're saying, behold the works of Rhaenyra Targaryen, and you see the head barely hanging on to the body. Oh my god, this is so sad. Like, when you didn't see it on screen, it's like, okay, whatever, it happened. But then you actually see the aftermath of what happened, seeing the kid's face, and oh my god, it's so heartbreaking. I can't imagine, like, if this actually happened with the parents and then you have to see it. I hope they didn't see, no, but the mother saw it. Well, she didn't see it. She turned away, but still, like, being in the room while that's happening. You know what's messed up? They're saying that this is horrible and that people are going to turn against Rhaenyra, but what if people don't like the king? And when they see that Rhaenyra did this bolsters their support for her even more. Just saying. But then again, there are people that have their own children, so seeing that she would stoop as low as to do this to a kid or a baby, that's gonna probably repulse people. So the guy gives up, you know, that it was one of the rat catchers that helped him and whatnot, and he's like, are you gonna hurt me? Is he really asking this after what he did? What do you think? You killed the kid's son in his bed. Like, you killed the king's son in his bed. You sawed his head off. Like, what did you think was going to happen? Why are you expecting they're not going to hurt you? Oh shit. When the king walks in though, I'm like, oh shit, oh. Because he's like, I can't say the same for your grace though. What do you say in this situation right now? I'm sorry. And you know, Aegon was very kind because he let him off very easily. If that had been my child, and I'm being so freaking honest right now, I think I would have become so emotionally unhinged had someone done that to my baby that I would torture them for a very long time. I would become so creative. I'm very good with creating things. And I feel like the creativity that naturally comes out of my head would turn very dark very quickly, coming from a place of pain and anger and betrayal and revenge. And I would come up with the most inspiring and innovative ways to hurt somebody while keeping them alive as long as possible because of what they did to my child. They don't deserve a quick death. They don't deserve to live in peace the rest of their life, or maybe, I don't know, it's going to be a long, long time, and I would probably get buried in that darkness. That would be your life. Like what they did to, Reek? Yeah, what they did to Reek in Game of Thrones. I don't know, dude. Maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I would have mercy, but the way that, I can't even say. I can't blame the king, but he gives him a very merciful end. Bro, he could get knocked out just like that. Bless his heart. That was so merciful. But they did this all before they could identify the rat catcher, which made no sense. I've seen so many comedies or horrible movies where the car or something gets stuck and the coffin drops and the body rolls out, and I thought that's what was gonna happen here. And these people are so selfish. I know they're sad for the queen, but you're reaching out your hands and scaring the crap out of her. So Rhaenyra's with her council, and she's like, they can't be accusing me of this. Why would I do something like that after what had happened to my son? And I love how Daemon, he's just sitting there like, I don't know. Why are you so quiet, Daemon? So of course she confronts him and he lets her know it was a mistake. He didn't actually want to kill the little kid. He was going for Aemond. And honestly, I get where Rhaenyra is coming from, but she starts provoking him by blaming him and saying, well, the instructions, if they didn't find the prince, what were the instructions after? You didn't give thorough instructions, bro. It's your fault. And she keeps prodding him even after he said, this is not what I intended. I mean, they're kind of even because Aemond killed her son by mistake and, one of his people killed the king's son on purpose, but it was kind of a mistake too.
I took this as a challenge, but I'm old enough. I have challenges enough.
I have served you faithfully.
Have you? Or have you used me as a tool with which to grasp at your stolen inheritance? Ooh, okay.
Oh my. Anyway, he tries to convince her. What was I saying? Doesn't matter. Anyway, it was a mistake and she chases him away kind of by saying some awful things to him. And he's like, you know what? Let me leave before I say something I'm going to regret or do something I'm going to regret. I like how everyone's hypocritical in the show though. He's always saying, yeah, you wanted to be king. You just wanted your inheritance, but so did you. I mean, that was something you wanted for the longest while too. So why are you making it seem like Daemon wanting the same thing you wanted for your whole life is somehow wrong? Then Daemon goes out for a drive or for a fly because he's angry and his sexy dragon makes an appearance once more. I absolutely love this dragon design. And spare me all of you who are like, that's not a dragon. Okay, it's a wyvern. Just settling this once for all wyverns are dragons, but not all dragons are wyverns. There are different types of dragons, okay? Can we settle that with people being smart? Also, again, in the Game of Thrones universe, this is what a dragon is. If dragons existed in reality, they most likely would look like this because of the four-limb plan that vertebrates have. So fuck off. Why did he do that? Is it because he didn't want to have to deal with her right now because it was too sad, or did he blame her? Maybe he didn't know what to say in that moment, so he's like, let me just keep walking because I don't want to deal with these emotions right now. And so Criston Cole was feeling sorry, I guess. He sees the bloody bed of the kid, them carrying out the sheets and whatnot, while Rhaenyra plays with these two children? I mean, I know they're children, but what, is it a boy or a girl? Or there's two boys? Who knows, whatever. Then we get a scene of her just looking at dust for no reason, just to pass the time.
Have you told anyone?
What do you take me for?
I don't know, a bitch and a traitor? You were in love with my best friend and clearly still are since it drove you enough to want to sleep with me. You're also the kind of person who doesn't take his occupation seriously because you're banging me instead of watching and doing your job. I mean, I'm guessing the High Guard, the person who's in charge of all those people, he should be in charge of watching over the castle at night too, right? Or does he just go to sleep while the other soldiers do it? I could be wrong, but he's not really the best of influences. He's also not super loyal. We've seen that. Look how quickly he turned against Rhaenyra. Look how quickly he turned against his own faith. Now, this is the part that made me viscerally angry. I need to take a breath before going into this and measure my words because I understand that this bitch is projecting really heavily because of his own misgivings, or, well, not misgivings, his regrets. I guess he blames himself, but he doesn't want to take accountability for his own actions, so he's passing the blame on someone else.
What is this?
Oh my God, I'm getting PTSD. Have any of you had parents that just like, they like to be in control? And so even if you clean the entire house and you do everything you're supposed to do, they would look for something on purpose, something trivial and minuscule, and call you over, call your name very, very vulgarly, and then show you like a spot on the counter that you missed, even though the entire kitchen's spick and span. And you can't see the spot until your mom is like, no, come back here, 7 paces back. Okay, now bend this way so you can see the the light hit the counter. You see that little droplet right there? You see that? What is that? And then you're left standing there looking completely stupid because you don't know what to say. And you're like, a droplet? Yeah, exactly. Did you clean this kitchen? I swear to God, that's what I had to go through when I was growing up. And that's the same shit that my mom would do. And it drove me freaking nuts because you can't even say anything because she would kill you. So this guy is under Criston, whatever his name is. And he said he'll change it. He's eating. He's like, I'm so sorry, sir. I'll change it. And this guy does not take that for an answer because he wants to swing his dick around. I'm getting freaking flashbacks watching the scene.
I'll replace it, Hans.
Do it now.
The night was long, so no, not eating. If I could
You defy my authority, Sarek.
I do not.
The white cloak is a symbol of our purity, our fidelity. Kingsguard are a sacred trust. Will you so easily sully our ancient honor?
Heavy projection. Tons of it. Nobody's caught this guy screwing the Allison, really? I can't wait. Like,
I have heard, my lord. I'll remedy the error.
God.
Where were you when Jaehaerys was murdered?
Bro, I'm having so many freaking flashbacks from my childhood. Oh my God, it's the same exact way. Oh man. So he guilts this guy and he's like, I don't believe you actually love the king. I mean, your twin works for Rhaenyra. He's like, dude, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything. Really? Then prove your worth. Go and slay Rhaenyra over where she is. To which the twin replies, you want me to do that alone? And in response to this, Cuck over here is like, what's wrong? You're not brave? I wish someone could drop kick him in his head. So he's like, just pretend that you're your freaking brother. What's the problem? I swear, if I were this twin, I would have just stayed over there. You don't know how happy this makes me to know that I'm not the only one. And are these two married? I can't remember. I feel like they are or not. I don't know. So in this poignant scene, Aemon confides in this prostitute woman, and we always knew that he didn't intend to kill Luke, but we've never actually heard him admit it, and here he does. And it only makes me wish he had gone to Rhaenyra and told her how sorry he was. I felt like that would have helped. I mean, maybe it wouldn't have, but if he had like prostrated himself before her and apologized, maybe, you know, before her specifically, if Daemon didn't kill him first, that would have helped things. That would have helped quell things before they got to this level.
Daemon sent them to kill me when I was out.
You were with me.
In truth, I'm proud. He considers me such a foe.
So he says he's afraid of me. And that's when he confides in the woman, I lost my temper. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to kill Luke. Because now this has also brought a lot of fire and brimstone on his family. And then the woman says, I would remind you that when princes lose their temper, the laymen suffer. And is she talking about herself? Because she says a small folk like me. So I feel like she kind of has an ear in Aemon. That's her true power. She's like, if I can stay close to him, if he has power, then my family and the rest of us will be taken care of. Can't really blame her.
The markets have been running low since the blockade.
The suffering of people really breaks my heart, especially seeing the little girl who's sick. She played her role so convincingly that I really believed that she was ill, and all I wanted to do was comfort her. So if people don't remember, this is the weaponsmith who would ask the king for an advance so he can make weapons because the inflation and all this other stuff, times are tough out here.
Has promised us some relief.
Oh, the poor baby. I love how this guy out here looks like the Witcher. Anyway, the wife is honest with her husband. She's like, that face though. When is that gonna happen? And yeah, with the scalping that's going on, I probably would have done the same thing. And he's actually outraged by that, but don't underestimate what a mother would do to take care of her kids. That's probably why the other people had that idea to scalp prices as well. But it's a tad bit greedy when you're selling things for way more than what they're worth. But then again, it's hard out there, and they probably have a lot of mouths to feed.
I see all your great adventures have done nothing for your looks.
So we see this handsome guy that looks like a chocolate version of Daemon, and he's Alan's brother. I really like him. His name is Adam, and I hope he becomes one of the main characters. And the way that he ends up looking at the dragon as it flies overhead makes me believe that he's gonna align with one of the main houses, or maybe he and one of the dark-skinned girls is gonna, like, become friends or something. And no, he seems very motivated by that as well, but he seems like a genuinely good person. Then we have Corlys and his wife wondering if Daemon is going to challenge Rhaenyra, which is kind of like foreshadowing, but why would he though? He's married to her. I'm kind of confused about how this monarchy works, because even though Rhaenyra was crowned and she's queen, doesn't that make Daemon king by marriage? I mean, I get it, if she dies, the crown goes to the heir, but Daemon would still have power, so I mean, it's a little confusing in my opinion. I'd have to go back and read up on that. This is quite the picture too. Look at this. It looks like a photograph or something that like AI would generate. It's weird us saying that. Like 5 years ago, we weren't talking like this. See a picture, first thing you ask, is it AI? Rhaenyra keeps her word to the Whisperer lady with the scar on her neck that Daemon had promised to marry a long time ago. This one has an attitude though. Sometimes I'm like, girl, you need to learn when to rein that in, because that might not work out so well for you soon. Anyway, she was the one that was giving the info to Otto Hightower. Daemon had promised that she would be released after, so Rhaenyra, after thinking about it, she decides to set her free.
You may go.
Your Grace.
Lord Liz to let you fly free.
I am... Thank you.
And like the Telltale games used to say, that's going to be useful later. They will remember that. This is the part I was talking about in the beginning with choices and ethics and this awful conundrum. So the king didn't know which rat catcher was the one that was working with the guy, so they killed every single one of the rat catchers that were employed. Only one of them had been guilty. Oh, and he got him. Poor puppy. But he killed all those other innocent men that were sons, fathers, and brothers. And Otto comes in blazing angry because he's like, yo, this is gonna hurt your claim and ruin everything Otto himself put in place to help the king, including getting his revenge for the future. I don't blame the king because he wants to look powerful, and this is gonna make people think twice before trying something like that again. And on top of that, he's hurting badly from having lost his son to this gruesome murder. But on the flip side, now you've got a lot of people angry at you, wanting you to die even more because you took something from them and they were completely innocent. Yes, Rhaenyra targeted your family, but then you target the small folk and take it out on them. That's not gonna go over very well.
What have you done?
The rat catchers!
Oh, I had them hanged. The maggot who took my son confessed to an accomplice. He could not say for certain which man it was, so...
Idiot!
Beware how you speak to your king, my lord.
Bitch, shut the...
The king is my grandson, and my grandson is a fool. He's worse than a fool. He's murdered innocent men.
And one guilty one.
And hang them from the walls of the city for all to see.
Plot against the king, and I will pay it back 100...
They are fathers and brothers and sons, and their wives and children gather now at our gates to weep and curse your name.
So I think Aegon realized, yeah, I know I messed up, but I mean, like, can you blame me though? I think he was just in the moment, in the heat of the moment, and he was saying kill them all without really thinking about the repercussions because he didn't care. He was an enraged father who had lost his son and just wanted revenge.
With your child's blood, we bought their approval. With your mother's tears, we made a bitter sacrifice against the deprivations to come, and you've thrown it away. After all I've done for you, thoughtless, feckless, self-indulgent.
At least I did something. I have not answered injury to the crown with, what? Wailing, currying favor with the fishwives.
So you could see Aegon faltering a little bit because he does not have the experience, and he says, I had to do something. I don't want to be thought of as weak, that they can just come in here and try at my life or take my children's lives. So Otto tells him back and forth, yeah, you just undid everything that we did. We already had news spreading of Rhaenyra's crime, and you just threw this in the ringer. And then Aegon hits him with the, well, at least Criston did something. And I love the look on Otto's face when he's like, oh God, him, what did you do? Then he tells him the plan of sending the twin to Rhaenyra to kill her.
Alone?
The way he says it, he sounds like an adult talking to two kids. Like, yeah, so you did all of this. You decided to build this house. Where's the door? And the kids are standing there like, oh yeah. So Aegon says, almost reluctantly, yeah, you were my father's hand, but you're not my hand, so I'm gonna need the pin. The grandfather is trying to save him a world of pain, saying he needs a hand, a strong hand who can guide him. And then my guy Aegon gives the hand pin to freaking Criston Cole. He made the motherfucker, literally the motherfucker, his hand. What are you gonna do when you find out he's been bashing your mom at night, and that's the reason why your kid probably got killed? And then I like how Criston has the nerve to act all surprised.
He was right about you.
He may be king.
Is that what you think?
Remove your badge, Sir Otto.
Poor Sir Otto. He was like, seven hells. Sir Otto should have knew when to shut up, though. He was being more of a grandfather than he was being the Hand of the King. He was literally being just a grandfather, and he removes his badge and throws it at Criston Cole's feet. He's just shoved it in his eye hole. Anyway, the last words he utters before leaving the room is insolent pup, which is just pure pity because he knows that the kingdom is getting ready to be swung into utter turmoil because of this vengeful hand that the king and now Hand of the King are gonna have and how they're gonna rule the kingdom. And this is why choices matter, because Rhaenyra is sent off by the other twin only to see him coming from the sea, and she's like, wait a minute, what? That's the guy that just told me to, oh no, something's wrong. Sir Eric's twin infiltrates the castle because people think that he's Sir Eric, and I like how it's like his brother can sense that he's in there, the real Sir Eric, and then the other twin switches guard and he enters ready to kill Rhaenyra to prove that he is loyal to his cause. Thank goodness the woman had gotten the brother in time, or at least that's what they make it seem like. I don't know how else he would have figured that unless he has like the twin sense. And I thought that, oh, they're gonna have one of these situations where one of the twin dies and the other one pretends to be the other one, but it doesn't matter because one of them does end up getting killed by the other one, and the surviving one apologizes and stabs himself. And I thought the good one is the one that had been killed, but now I'm not so sure because he's the one that got slashed on the legs. I have to look back at this fight over.
We were born together. You partied us!
Ouch, that hurts.
Eric.
Forgive me.
No. No.
So he performs seppuku on himself, seppuku, whatever. And this is very realistic because they still very much loved each other, and twins, their bond is very, very strong. It's like you're killing a part of you. And I have twin brothers, so I can only imagine if that happened to one of them, the other one wouldn't have been able to live with his decision. So now we don't have to wonder which one's which. Otto confides in his daughter and says that Aegon is still malleable, but him and Sir Criston together is like throwing fuel on a freaking forest fire. So she tells her dad to leave just for a little while until Aegon cools down because he lost his son why he's acting irrational. And this part is hilarious because I knew she was getting ready to tell her father what really happened. And he gives the typical response a father would.
I have sinned.
I do not wish to hear of it.
Because he already knows. I'm pretty sure he already knows. You know how awkward it is for your daughter to tell her, yeah, dad, I've been fucking the Knight's Guard or the King's Guard person, and I'm probably the reason why he wasn't where he was supposed to be when he was supposed to be there. The father's like, I don't want to know who you're sleeping with, bro. Like, if it doesn't immediately entail the king and whatever, I don't want to know your bedside activities. Like, it's how gently he said it. I do not wish to hear it. But maybe that was his way of also saying, look, it's none of my business. I'm not here to judge you. Just deal with your shit and grow up. And this part is so painful when she walked in to see how Aegon was doing, and we catch him alone, just still in mourning. I was crying. I just wanted to go over and hug him so badly. I was like, no. Man, I could not have left him in the room by himself. My husband said something very interesting. He said that it was probably best that she did because Aegon is the king and he's making all these decisions, and he's probably at a moment in his life where he's processing all these feelings and things that are happening around him. And if he always has mommy coming to comfort him, he'll never learn to deal with those feelings on his own. And I see where he's coming from, but at the same time, like, really? Not a hug and just a hug, a quick hug and pat on the shoulder like guys do sometimes and then walk away? Nothing? Okay. I mean, I guess. I'm sorry, like, I can't see someone crying and not hug them, like, especially my loved one. I can't. If they ask to be alone, I'll leave them alone. And sometimes you can tell they want to be alone, but in that moment, I don't think he would have. But then he just killed a lot of people too. Like, I don't know, bro. But this episode was so filled with very difficult decisions. I would love a game like this. Didn't they used to have one on Facebook right? When Facebook like was kind of sort of functioning and people were on it and you were on there with your parents and played stuff with them and then you're like, no. But they had this game. No, I think it was on Facebook or it was on browser. It was a browser game. It was Game of Thrones. And you could make choices like this. It's really dialogue driven, but things that you would do, who you married, if you decide to punish someone, if you decide to take someone's advice, it was all multiple choice. It determined whether or not certain things happened. It was extremely good. And I don't know what happened to that game. I would love something like that now. Not as in-depth and convoluted as Civilization, but something similar that's a little on the simpler side, if you know what I mean. Seriously. Oh my god. I hate him, but I like that. I'm confused though, why is she in love with him? Why does she, or maybe she just needs to blow off some steam or something, but she's mad at him, I get it, but is she also trying to stay with him because he now is at a place of power higher than she is? Is the hand of the king at a higher standing than the queen regent? Possibly. And she is like, I gotta bend to him now because please don't fall in love with this asshole. Please don't. I will lose all respect for you, I swear to God. Fucking hell, man. I still hate him. And that's how the episode ends. The only person I feel bad for in this episode is Aegon and the families of those rat catchers. And all those people that are suffering out there. Because now that Aegon is going through this emotional turmoil after having lost his child this way, I don't think he's sending money anytime soon. I think he made all these promises and forgot about them, which also doesn't help. And that's why they're showing the people at unrest. Oh, I just love how they're building this. Please, God, please do not make this fall apart like Game of Thrones did at the very end. Please, we're all investing in this.